All right, I'm going to just give you some more examples of how to do the problems that are on your assignment. So you were assigned odds, so I'm going to do evens. And so what we're looking at here is the direction said to convert the fraction to decimal, so a little abbreviation there. And so there's a lot of ways we can convert, but really the bottom line is that it's a division problem. You're taking one, you're dividing it 11 ways. So so in the division bar, the bottom number will always go on the outside, the top number will go on the inside. So in other words, denominator on the outside, numerator on the inside. So when we do that, so I've got my bottom number 11, and I'm going to put that into 1. So you say to yourself, well, that doesn't go in, it goes in 0 times. So then we add a decimal and a 0. Add the decimal up here. How many times does 11 go into 10? Oh, it doesn't go into 10. So we say 0. We add another 1 there. And then we look at that and we say, okay, that's going to be 9. So 9 times 11 is 99. And then there's 1. And then we again have to bring, when we have a remainder, and we need to keep going. So we bring down another 0. Wait a minute. 11 doesn't go into 10. I'm seeing a pattern here. Extend this out. So we have to add another 0 and bring it down. Don't forget that 0 up here. It went in 0 times. So add a 0. Oh, it goes in 9 times. And I see that this pattern is going to probably keep going. And so then what I'm going to do there is I'm going to look at that and say, well, that pattern is going to keep going. And I have a repeating pattern. I have 0, 9, 0, 9. So then that is going to become, and I can write 0 point, a lot of times I don't do this leading 0, but 0.09, and the 0, 9 both repeat, so I put a bar over it, and then that would be my answer right there. Okay? So some of these problems are going to get kind of lengthy. Okay, in fact, I'm looking at this thinking I might run out of room, but I think I'll be all right because I had some extra space there. So then I look at this next problem. Well, it's -2 and 17/18. All right. So, I'm just going to look at this fraction part. So it's negative. And I've got 17/18. So that 18 is going to go on the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 18 here. The 17 is going to go on the inside. And I know that 18 doesn't go into 17. But my whole number, I already know what my whole number is. It's -2. So because that whole number right there is -2, I'm going to just put that -2, let me change my color here, put that -2 out front because I already know that whole number is going to be -2. That's what this is here. So we'll put the -2. And then I go to the next step. And so I say, oh, and this is where it gets kind of lengthy. All right, we got to do some long division. But on your assignment, what you'll notice is I gave you access to a basic calculator. So you can do this, figure this out. Well, I know that 18 times 10 is 180, and this is 170. So I'm going to go with 18 times 9. So 9 times 8 is 72. 9 and 7 is 16. So that's going to be, so I'm going to put the 9 here. So it's 9 times. And that's going to be 162. And that, when I subtract it, is going to give me 8. Okay. And so, all right. So what if I do 18 times, I don't know. So it's 80 that has to go in. So I'm just going to choose 5 because why not? 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 1 is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 90. And that is too big. So that did not work. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to try. So that was 5. So let's try 4. 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 1 is 4. 5, 6, 7. So 72. That works. 72. Subtract 8. Uh-oh. That's a pattern. So my remainder was 8, and now it's 8 again. So if I do this, then I know I've got to go, oh, I still have my 9 up there. You guys let me have my 9 up there. Just kidding. You guys can't say what I do here when I'm doing this. Okay. So 4 times 18 is 72. So I subtract, I'm going to get 8 again. So I've got a pattern, I've got a repeating pattern. And so when I've got that repeating pattern, I'm just going to erase that there. Then it's going to be negative 2 point, and the 4 is the repeating. So I'm just put 4 with the bar over it. Negative 2.4. And then that's my answer. Okay, so there's that long division. And I know it's a weakness for many people, but do your best and see what we can do here. Okay, now I've got 40 into 17. So I've got 40 as my bottom, my denominator goes out, 17 goes in. Okay, no whole number out front, just a negative. So I'll go ahead and put my negative here just to remind me. But it is going to go 0 times. Okay, 40 doesn't go into 17, so add a 0. Oh, let's try 4, because 4 times 40 is 160. And I know that. It's just like 4 times 4 is 16, but I had an extra 0, so that's why I do that. Subtract, that's 0. And now I bring a 0 down. So when I have a remainder, I have to bring another 0 down. 40 goes into there. Oh, let's try 2. 2 times 40 will be 80. Okay, so 0, 20. Okay, so 20. I have a remainder, so I have to bring another 0 down. Okay, so, 40 goes into 200 5 times. 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 4 is 20, and now I have 0. So because I end up with a point when I have a 0 remainder, that means that we're done. So this is a terminating decimal. We don't have the repeating bar. This is a terminating decimal. So we just say it's negative, and like I said, I don't always put the leading 0, so negative 4, 0.425, circle that, and we're good. All right, and let's go ahead and let me do something here real quick. I'm gonna move these guys down because I'm gonna run out of room. These guys go down here anyway. All right, so let's go ahead and do 8 and, oops, now I'm gonna move that around. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so 8 and 15 20-seconds. All right, so the whole number, I'm not gonna deal with here. The 22 goes on the outside, the 15 goes on the inside, and I bring that decimal up. 22 goes in there 0 times, but I already know I have a whole number. That whole number is 8. So I'm going to put that 8 in front here. So I just bring and put that whole number there. And so, yeah, then that's kind of tricky. It's really not part of the division problem, but I already know it's going to be 8. And then I've got 15 20-seconds. So, all right, so we got this, add a 0. 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, let's try, I think 7's too much. Let's try 6. All right, so 6 times 2 is 12, carry the 1. 6 times 2 is 12, 13, 132. So my remainder here when I subtract can't be bigger than 22, so let's see. So I carry 10 minus 2 is 8. That's a 4 minus 3 is 1. Oh, look, we made it, because this is 0. So it's less than 22. If that number was bigger than 22, then 6 was my wrong choice. And I'd have to go up one. Okay, so now again, I didn't have 0 as my remainder, so I have to add a 0 and keep going. 22 into 180. 8 is 169. So what I'm looking at is just the 22 is close to 20. So I'm looking at like 20 would go into 189 times, but obviously that's going to be too much because it's just, so I'm going to go with 8. Okay, so I'm going to try 8. So 8 times 2 is 16. Carry the 1. 8 times 2 is 16, 17. So 176. So I subtract, I get 4, and that's 40. I bring a 0 down. Okay, so when I did that, that was it. Okay, so that's 4. Okay, 22 goes into 40, so 1 time, because 1 times 22 is 22. And then what I'm seeing here is if I subtract this, I'm getting 18, and I'm back to that 18. I had 18 right here. And so you're looking for these patterns. I had an 18 as a remainder here, and now I have 18 as a remainder here. So my guess is I'm going to keep I will restart that pattern. Okay, so 22 goes into 180 8 times, right? So 16, 176, and then there's 40, and then 22 goes into there. And so I look and I notice that what's the repeating pattern? It's not the 6, but it's the 8, 1, 8, 1, 8, 1. And so I'm going to end up with 8.681, and the 8, 1 has a bar over it. And so the 8, 1 has a bar over it because that's what was repeating. Okay, so, and I have the 8. So, okay, so that would be my answer. And that was a lot. Okay, and so I know it gets kind of tricky, and it's not easy, but if you just persevere through it, you'll end up with that. Okay, so that's fractions into decimals. So then we get a set of problems that is decimals to fractions. And we did a lesson on this. So I did do a lesson on this, and the lesson was talked about place value. So I'm looking now at 0.9, okay? So when I have negative 0.9, so obviously negative is going to be part of that. This is the tenths place, okay? So I'm going to have 9 over 10, whatever that place is, right? And that's going to be negative. Now you reduce. Can I reduce this fraction? No. So that's it. I'm done. Okay? So let's look at negative 2.32. So what is this last number? This last number is in the hundredths place. Now this is the whole number, right? This is in the ones place. So this is the whole number. So I'm going to have negative 2 out here as my whole number. I didn't have that on this one. It was just a 0, so I don't need to put it. But my whole number is just going to go out in front. And then I've got 32 over 100 because it was in the hundreds place. But now I'm not in simplest form, so I have to reduce. And when I reduce, I'm looking for a common factor, something that goes into 32 and 100. And I recognize that 4 goes into 32 and 100. So my negative 2 doesn't change. I still have that out front. Okay. And so I'm going to go ahead and divide that. 32 divided by 4 is 8. And 100 divided by 4 is 25. And that is reduced, and that is done. All right, so I have another one. So tenths, hundredths, thousand. So this is in the thousands place. So I'm going to have a negative, and it's going to be 258, but it's going to be over 1,000. And unfortunately, guess what, guys? Yes, you have to reduce. And it's not always obvious. My pen's lagging, so I don't know what's going on here. It's not always obvious what goes in. Let's see, 4. Okay, so I know 2 goes in. And this is why that calculator would be helpful for you. So that calculator, you go 258 divided by 2. And so you get 129. And then this should be 500. Now I'm looking at this, and you might not see something that could go in. I know 3 can go in the top. 129 divided by 3 is 43, but 3 doesn't go into 500. 500 divided by 3 doesn't go evenly. So I'm gonna say we're done with this. I don't think this reduces anymore. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so then the last one is tenths, hundredths, thousandths again. So this is thousandths, but this time we have something in the whole number spot. Okay, so when we're looking at this, that 6 is in the whole number spot, so it's going to be 6. And then this number here is 12. We just ignore that that 0, that leading 0. Can't ignore every 0, but that leading 0, and then 1,000. So again, let's go ahead and divide by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I've got 6. Don't forget about that. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. and 1,000 divided by 4 is 250. And so divided by 4 is 250. So 250. And then that is it. That would be most simple. And so you put that in. Now, I know there's more to this assignment, but I know that those two things will probably be, so because now you're having to go into some ordering. I know that you have to put some stuff in order here. So you're doing, let me just pull this out. So you're putting this stuff in order here. And to put it in order, sometimes you're going to have to just make kind of what is the decimal version of these and then compare them. Or what is the fraction version? But that's harder because then you have to have like denominators. As soon as you put them in decimal form, it's kind of like they're like denominators a little bit. Okay, so you can do some comparisons there. You're doing the odds, so you're going to be doing 29, 31, and 33 on those. You're not doing 11. And then I think that's it for your lesson, right? Then you go down and do just a fair game review. Okay. So that's how this goes. I will also post this, the paper version of it, but this is the video version of it, and so it will just help you with some examples. Hopefully this helps. All right, let me know if you need anything else. Thanks, guys.